Hey there folks, Scottsdale Travel Chick Sidekick here to present our ultimate day trip guide to Red Rock Canyon Park just outside Las Vegas, Nevada. In this video, we'll show you everything you need to know about doing your own day trip through the park and how to hit all the top sites in one day. Okay, let's go. First though, just a little bit about the park itself. Red Rock Canyon is located about 30 minutes east of downtown Las Vegas, and it's an easy day trip from the Strip. The park itself is basically a 13-mile or 21-kilometer one-way scenic drive, first past a beautiful red rock sandstone ridge to the north, and then past some nice slot canyons and decent-sized mountains to the west. The primary attractions here are the scenery and various hiking and climbing opportunities. More than 3 million people visit the park each year, and park hours are 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. with an entry fee of $15 per vehicle. As of this time, you must make an online reservation in advance to enter the park. Best times to visit the park are shoulder seasons of spring and fall, as summer daytime temperatures can reach in excess of 105 degrees Fahrenheit, and daytime temperatures in the winter average in the low 50s or cooler. Fun fact, Red Rock Canyon is actually not a park, but a quote, national conservation area. There are some technicalities to that on who manages the area, but you can simply think of it as a scenic park, and that's what we're going to call it throughout this video. Another fun fact, as many as 6 Native American cultures have lived in the area over hundreds of years, and there are still signs of their time here throughout the park. Okay, let's get to that perfect day trip itinerary for visiting the highlights of the park. First, just some thoughts on how much time you should plan for. The park is just a one-way 13-mile drive, so if you simply drive straight through with only a few stops for pictures, you can visit the park in about an hour. However, we'd recommend you get out and explore just a bit, and we're going to give you 2 hikes to do from our other video, the top 6 hikes to do in the park. Check that video out if you want to learn more about our recommendations for other top hikes in the park. Assuming you do a couple hikes and stop for a picnic, lunch, or snack, you should plan for about 4 to 5 hours in the park. And remember, it's a one-way road. So once you pass a site or a turnoff, you cannot go back. Okay, let's get to it. Once you arrive at the park, your first stop just inside the entrance should be the Visitor Center. At the Visitor Center, you'll find some park rangers on duty to assist with any questions, along with large-scale maps of all the trails in the park. There's also a small theater showing a movie on the area in the park, and a small store selling snacks and souvenirs. Finally, there's some nicer outdoor exhibits exploring all the details related to the park, the history, the geology, and the Native Americans. Plus, you'll have some great views of the Red Rock Cliffs in the distance. Before you leave, make sure to grab a map from the ranger on duty and be sure to ask them about any current hiking conditions or trail closures. All right, babe, where are you at today?
So we are in Red Rock Canyon, and we are going to do some hiking trails today.
All right. And how much hiking are you up to for today?
5 to 7 miles.
All right, that's going to be part of our ultimate day trip hike guide to Red Rock Canyon.
Yes.
Does this remind you of anything out here?
This reminds me of Little Sedona.
Sedona. Do we have a video on Sedona? As a matter of fact, we do. Check out our top-rated video on the best hikes to do in Sedona if you're interested in that awesome Arizona Red Rock area. Once you're done at the Visitor Center, get in your car and begin the scenic drive. Not giving anything away here, but the first few miles of the drive are the most impressive as you drive by a large red rock sandstone ridge on your right. There are a couple of overlook areas called Calico 1 and Calico 2 where you can pull over and scramble around the hills and do short walks. But your first real larger stop along the road, where you also do your first hike, is Sandstone Quarry Trailhead. Here you're going to do the most famous and popular hike in the park, Calico Tanks. This is the #1 hike in the entire park. If you ask the rangers at the visitor center, they will tell you if you only do one hike in the park, make it this one. It's a 2.5 mile or 4 kilometer hike up into a red rock slot canyon with a natural water tank and great views back towards Las Vegas at the end of the hike. It will take you about 2 hours to complete, and there's a bit of elevation. As this is the most popular hike in the park, we're going to give you about 3 minutes here on the details of how this hike actually plays out. The hike first starts out walking along a sandy wash. Back in the 1900s, there used to be a quarry here, and you can still find some blocks left from those days. This wash area gets progressively narrower until you begin your hike up into the small Red Rock Canyon. Then you come up this little wash, and you're in this canyon. Beautiful rocks and sandstone, different colors. This is just a little of the ways up. And the path, you can see, goes up into there. All right, we're gonna go up through there. Still on the trail. I won't lie though, even though the park guide says this trail is moderate, it's not an easy hike. But the Scottsdale Travel Chick and I did it, and we also saw 7-year-olds to 70-year-olds doing it too. So, with enough time and maybe a few breaks along the way, most people will be able to make it to the end. All right, babe. We are about 2/3 of the way. We just have to go to the itty bitty top of that ridge there, maybe a quarter mile, but really rocky. How you doing?
My knees are a little sore.
But you're doing it.
I'm doing it.
Yeah.
But we go up and then we gotta come back the same way, right?
Correct. As you near the very end of the hike, you'll come to a depression in the canyon where rainwater collects into what they refer to as a natural tank. That's pretty cool. Finally, just a short 100-yard climb after this will bring you to the very summit of the trail, where there are numerous outcroppings to get some great pictures and experience a great view back out over Las Vegas in the distance. Just past this is just one more small little climb up to the top for some views back out over Vegas. So let's take a look. Kind of moving up. All right, and here all the way out to the tippy tip of this for this view. There's the strip. Once you've had your fill at the top, simply turn around and make your way back down the way you came. The entire hike for us, including many stops for pictures, etc., took about 2.5 hours, so plan accordingly if you do this hike as part of your visit. At the same time, we might recommend this is the one hike you don't miss in the park. Finally, just for a little bonus, here's a quick drone shot flying up through the first 2/3 of the canyon. Once you're back to your car, Continue along the scenic drive from Sandstone Quarry parking lot, taking your time to soak in all the views. Along the way, you'll pass the high point of the road where there's an overlook. Make a stop here if you'd like to take in the expansive views to the east. Near the end of this guide, we'll tell you about another overlook just like this, but looking back in the opposite direction. After the overlook, you'll drive a few more miles with views of mountains to the west and to the south. Quite quickly, though, you'll come to the Willow Springs trailhead and picnic area. Here, you'll do your next hike, but don't worry, this one's quite a bit easier than that first one. And also here is a picnic area where you should plan to stop for lunch or snacks either before or after this hike. Willow Springs Loop Hike is an easy walk out along a ridge and then back the other side of the road. Near the trailhead is also a short detour to a small set of petroglyphs with an information sign. It's not much, but worth a stop nonetheless if you haven't seen any petroglyphs before. But our pro tip here is if you really want to see an awesome amount of Native American petroglyphs, as well as some really beautiful and more extensive red rock country, consider visiting Valley of Fire State Park, about an hour drive north of Las Vegas. Check out our top-rated travel guide for this if you want to learn more about that destination. Just search Scottsdale Travel Chick, Valley of Fire. After finishing your time at Willow Springs, continue the scenic drive along the large mountain range to your right, and you'll come to one more hike you might want to consider, Pine Creek Canyon. In this hike, you'll see a unique ponderosa pine forest, the remains of an old 1900s homestead, and a mountain meadow. There are various options for this hike, anywhere from 1 mile up to about 3 to 4 miles. After the Pine Creek area, you'll quickly come to the exit for the park, but there's one more stop we want you to do. Red Rock Overlook is just outside the park along Route 159 and has opposite views to the High Point Overlook I mentioned earlier. It's worth a quick stop to take in the panorama back out over the entire Red Rock Canyon and Scenic Drive. And finally, here's one last drone shot from this overlook point with a 180 rotating view across the entirety of Red Rock Canyon Park. Well, there you have it, folks, our perfect day trip guide to visiting Red Rock Canyon Park. We hope you enjoyed. If you visited this park and have some tips or tricks we might have missed, feel free to let us know in the comments section below. And until next time, see you later.